Hello everyone, it's Ariel with New York Tour 1, and today we have a special surprise for you. We're going to walk through downtown Manhattan to cover the history of old New York. Like this page if you want to see more tours like this, New York Tour 1, and share this video right now with your friends and family if you want to show them all the cool history of New York City. We're going to start walking around in a few minutes. Hello everyone, it's Ariel with New York Tour 1. We are a company dedicated to exploring the city via awesome tours with people in the know. And today we're going through Battery Park with our tour guide, Eric Williams.
Hello, my friends.
Former Broadway actor turned tour guide to show us the amazingness of the history of old New York. Eric, let us know what we're in for today.
It's going to be an amazing journey through Lower Manhattan, and not only are we going to see beautiful buildings, but it's a gorgeous day as well. So we're going to talk about history, gorgeous architecture, and some really famous statues we'll see along the way.
And situate everyone where we are right now.
We are at the bottom of Manhattan. So what I'm facing is the water. I can see the Statue of Liberty looking gorgeous.
Right there.
Here she is, gorgeous. And then we're by Ellis Island as well. And essentially, Manhattan is all the opposite direction. So we're at the bottom tip.
Amazing. All right, let's do this. I'm going to say hi to everyone before we actually start walking. Hello, Remy. Hello, Jen. Hello, Susan. So again, be sure to share this video right now with your friends and family if you want to show them the cool history of New York City. And check out New York Tours 1. We do tours of the Statue of Liberty and of downtown Manhattan. All right, let's go. All right, Eric, lead the way.
This is Battery Park, my friends. Gorgeous, gorgeous day. And behind me is Castle Clinton, actually. This was the original immigration hub before Ellis Island. So millions of immigrants went through here, including a guy named Joseph Pulitzer, who will come up soon. If we want, we can actually walk a bit towards this direction.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, where I'm standing is essentially where a ferry just left to go to the Statue of Liberty. These ferries right here, every 20 minutes go out towards Liberty Island. And the amazing thing about New York Tour 1 is we have a tour every single day, multiple different times, that takes you to Statue of Liberty, to Ellis Island, and it starts here in Battery Park. So if you're interested, the tours are thebomb.com. One of my friends, Remy, is actually watching. He's a tour guide. He's the best. But all the guys are incredible as well. So while we're here, we want to talk about how the Statue of Liberty was given to us, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure you all know France gave us the Statue of Liberty. Thank you so much, French. We really love her. She's gorgeous. But we got it without the pedestal that she stands on. We had to pay for that pedestal that she is on ourselves.
She's right there. Boom.
Do you think we were happy that we had to pay for our own?
I mean, it sounds like a good deal. We get the statue, but the pedestal, we build it.
Sure. We build it, but we pay for it. So it's like, if you give me a gift and I have to pay for it, I'm not going to be super thrilled, but you know what? We figured it out after a long time. We could not come up with the money. It was such a long journey. Other cities were like, look, if you cannot come up with the money, just bring the statue to our cities. That's not okay. New York is essentially all about the Statue of Liberty. So thank goodness she was brought here, because one guy, Joseph Pulitzer, he owned a newspaper, right?
Yeah.
He said in his newspaper,
which one?
The New York World.
Ooh.
And he said if you donated money towards this fund for building the pedestal, he would put your name on the front page of the newspaper. Well, everyone wanted their 15 minutes of fame, and so the money was raised. What, about 5 months go by? Over $100,000 was raised. But what do you think the average donation was? It was less than $1, y'all.
Oh, okay.
They got their fame. They donated. It's like the original Kickstarter, GoFundMe. So the Statue of Liberty is crowdfunded. What a beautiful
It's the very first crowdfunded project in New York City.
I know, it's amazing. And you know what? She looks incredible, and we're so happy to have her. So
that's amazing. Let's zoom in on it.
Let's do it.
So keep on talking, keep on chatting about.
Essentially, she is around 300 feet tall, so she might not look super huge right now, but she is a pretty good size. I found out something recently that this is a beautiful time to talk about when the winds are high. That the actual statue can sway a little bit. She can sway up to, her torch can go up to 6 inches in any direction. Now that's a pretty crazy thing. That's
kind of scary.
It's a little scary.
Can you go up to the top?
So you can. There's actually you can go up to the all the way to the top. Our tours, for the most part, we go up to the pedestal. So once you go in that pedestal, you have amazing experience. That the museum is there. You get great views out from that pedestal. However, because we're friends and I feel safe and supported in this moment, I'm going to tell you that during one of my tours recently, I accidentally said instead of 6 inches she can sway, I said 6 feet.
Ooh,
my whole group was like,
that's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's like...
yeah, exactly.
That's the difference.
Like, everyone was so confused, but these are the true facts. It's 6 inches, not 6 feet, but that's still significant.
I see. All right, awesome. Let me see. Let's walk around and
let's do it.
I'll keep answering the comments. Where's Mickey? Bill, I'm not sure what you're referring to.
He's in Florida.
He's in Florida, yeah. Gabriella, thank you so much for sharing. Why is everyone wearing jackets? It's about 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Bill, this is Eric. He's an amazing tour guide with New York One Tour. And right now, I am working with New York One Tours to bring New York City to life for all of you. And Patricia, you did not know this about the Statue of Liberty. That's kind of cool.
Crazy, right?
And Wendy is visiting in June, looking forward to it.
Wendy, I will see you then.
Awesome. And where can people find more about New York Tour?
You can go to NewYorkTour1.com. All of our tours are listed there. We not only do this tour of the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island, we do tours all over the city, so you got to check it out.
And Bill, thank you so much for the compliment.
What he said, Bill?
He said Ariel's the world's greatest tour guide.
He's the bomb.com.
And that's why we're teaming up to make this tour even more bomb.com.
Exactly.
And Atakan, yes, we are in Battery Park right now in the very southern tip of Manhattan. This is Castle Clinton. That way is the Statue of Liberty. And hello, Tom. Tom says Eric.
My dear friend Tom, such a star.
And Nikki says in 4 weeks she'll be here. And Beth says hello, NYC.
Amazing.
And Jen, the World Trade Center is right over there. Right there. So again, I'm Ariel. This is Eric.
Hey guys.
NewYorkTour1.com. Like this page if you want to see more videos like this about history and learn more about the tours that we do. And share this video right now with friends, family, enemies, loved ones, anyone, to show them the beauty of New York City. All right, continue. You can keep going on as we're
walking through Battery Park right now, and again, it's a gorgeous day. I will say this a million times during this little video. This time of year is a beautiful time to visit New York. The weather's gorgeous. It's going to start getting very hot soon. So right now, everyone's kind of enjoying a perfect spring day. It is a little chilly, that's why the jackets. However, the sun is out, beautiful. This park was actually originally a military fort many years ago, and it was to protect us against the War of 1812. But the British never came. Thank you so much, Brits.
Yeah,
really
they went to Washington, D.C., but not here in New York.
Exactly, so New York was fine. And so this park was essentially transformed from the military fort into this park we see today. However, what's so exciting about this video and this tour that we're doing is that Manhattan started down here. So essentially, the city, the first beautiful buildings built were all built down in this part of town. We're actually getting close to one right now, which we will, here's a little sneak peek of the custom houses. Stunning. But as we're walking, we're essentially getting great views of a lot of different things.
So we see just a whole different variety of buildings right over here in Battery Park. And Sadaf, you're planning to book a tour, this tour, when you visit New York. Yes, go to NewYorkTour1.com. And hello, Gideon. And AJ says hello to you, Eric.
Hey, AJ.
And Andre, you love New York, and Jacqueline loves New York City too. Amazing. Wow.
So this is a beautiful view. You can see One World Trade over there to your left is really stunning. Now, a lot of the tours we do are not only Lower Manhattan, but you go to the 9/11 Memorial, and you'll see they've done a really beautiful job with it. From this angle, you can see One World Trade looks gorgeous. That building is the tallest building in New York City. It is 1,776 feet tall. Of course, 1776, you might make people feel a little intrigued. Oh yeah, it's the year of our Declaration of Independence, so a very significant number. It might not look super tall because of the other buildings that are closer, but trust me, y'all, it's real tall.
It's not as the case as other cities. Like with Dubai, there's one massive one sticking out.
Exactly. We got bunches of tall buildings. Now, what we are walking closer towards now is essentially the street Broadway that goes from Lower Manhattan all the way through the top of Manhattan. Kind of divides Manhattan into two. And every section of Broadway has its own character. This part down here is very historic, and there's a lot of beautiful small parks and beautiful statues as well.
Oh, amazing. And Broadway dates back all the way to the Lenape Native Americans. They used it as an original trailway to get between this area of Manhattan all the way to the upper area of Manhattan around the Harlem, modern day Harlem.
Where we're going towards now is the subway entrance. It's actually one of my favorite subway entrances in New York
it looks
City.
cool also.
This subway is called Bowling Green. It's the 4 and 5, as you can see, our green subway line. And this goes all the way underground. And then this subway is an express. It takes you all the way up Manhattan. So you've got a nice little...
That's amazing.
Little view of our subway system here in New York.
And this is how most subway stops looked like when they first were opened.
Right.
Yeah. And Iris asked where to find the best iced tea.
Iced tea? Well, that's such a specific question.
That's a specific question. Amazing.
You know, there's a lot of different places for iced tea. I would say that a lot of the different restaurants in New York have a southern flair to it. So there is a place called Southern Hospitality around the Hell's Kitchen area. Hell's Kitchen is a scary name, but a lovely neighborhood close to Times Square. And so there's a lot of different places that have delicious iced tea, so don't you worry.
Yeah, I agree.
And the good thing is about New York City is the food is unbelievable. There's no shortage, and honestly, food is my favorite thing to talk about. So any questions you guys have about food, please ask. I'll give you some of my favorite spots. I'm talking.
We're here for you, so ask anything you would like.
Exactly.
All right, so now where are we right now? We're like basically where the water used to be.
We are, yeah. It's crazy how far New York City has come in the many years since that grid system was laid down in 1811. Essentially, this entire area of Manhattan was beautiful farmland, right? It was grass, it was trees, it was gorgeous, gorgeous farmland. However, the name Manhattan comes from a Native American word. As we were talking with the Lenape Indians, the Native American word is very important. It's Mannahatta, and that means loosely the land of many Starbucks. Thank you so much. I am not joking. The other day I did a tour, you guys, and I said the land of many Starbucks. My whole group was just like, oh, like it took a second. It's the land of many hills, y'all.
I could totally relate to that because there was one point in New York City history, my New York City history, where I sat down in the Astor Place Starbucks, and sitting down by the window, I saw another Starbucks just across the street.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You can never have too many Starbucks.
All right, introduce this lovely place.
Look how beautiful this building is. The old U.S. Custom House. Around 1907, I believe, is when this was built. Ooh. This is a gorgeous building, which brings up a very interesting man, which we will talk a lot about on this tour. His name rhymes with Schmamilton.
I wonder who it is.
I'm keeping it a mystery. However,
is he like known in some major?
I would say there's been a
area
resurgence of popularity. You know what? It's a really niche audience.
With Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, yeah.
So it rhymes with that.
I didn't know you spoke Spanish. Now, this is a beautiful building that has had a lot of gorgeous things take place here, both in history and currently. In the history, this was the old U.S. Custom House, and the statues you can see on the front are really gorgeous. They represent different continents around the world. You've got one for Asia, you've got one for Africa, the Americas.
Actually, let's go in order.
Sure.
So we're seeing Africa right here.
There
She's sleeping. And go ahead.
This one is it's Europe, correct?
Yeah, Europe.
This one is for Europe. You can see the crown, and the detail of these statues are really, really quite beautiful. The next one that we're coming across right now are the Americas.
The Americas, and that's why they're all ready to go.
Ready to go. And then in the distance is Asia.
Ooh.
So, what's really nice about this building is the architecture is gorgeous. All these statues represent all over the world, but this is now the Museum of the American Indian. So, it's free to the public, as you can see, free admission. It's a really beautiful museum because it really honors the people that were originally here. Native American history, the museum here has amazing exhibits. There's a new one right now the Smithsonian is putting on, and I really recommend you checking it out while you're down here because it gives you a really great broad view of Manhattan history, American history, and it is just a stunning building at the same time.
Oh, wonderful. And again, I'm Ariel with New York Tour1, and this is Eric.
Hello.
He does tours all over this area of downtown Manhattan. Like this page, New York Tour1, if you want to see more videos like this and find out more about our tours, and share this video with your friends and family. If you want to see the beauty of New York City.
Share it, y'all.
And let us know where you're watching from. And John, you need to go here to New York.
Absolutely.
Bill, the city should remodel this building. I think they're in the process of doing so. They definitely have kept it up throughout the years. And there's Little Apple, Manhattan, Kansas. Interesting, Susan.
I've been to Manhattan, Kansas, Susan.
Oh, wow. And is there any Tim Hortons in Manhattan? Yes, there is. And Di, this is your favorite place in the world. And Bino, you love the Charging Bull. And Patricio, un saludo de Chile. Gracias por mirando. All right. Amazing.
Gorgeous. Now, what I have to say about this building is very historic. It's featured in a movie, and I only watch really just classy Academy Award-winning film, which is why I know that this was featured in the movie How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Total
Wonderful.
chick flick. I love it. But there's a very big scene at the end of the movie. It was filmed in this building. What?
So
there's a little.
What was the context of the scene?
They were having this big party, this big gala. That is where Kate Hudson is wearing her famous yellow dress in that movie, and the party's inside of this building.
Makes sense.
You know, really historic connection there, you guys. Really, it's all about history on these tours. You got to talk about some movies too.
Of course, rom-coms are the part of the
rom-coms
history.
for the win. what we're walking towards now is Bowling Green. This might look like a normal, cute little park.
Yeah.
The history here is unbelievable. This was the first commissioned park in New York City. The year 1733 is when this was commissioned. And now look, you got the fountain here, you got the beautiful little flowers. However, there's a pretty crazy story about this park. What happened was there was a statue of the King of England placed in this park in 1776.
Right there in the middle.
Right in the middle. And in the year 1776, we declared our independence. There was a very patriotic crowd who decided to tear down that statue of the King of England and melt it down into lead bullets to shoot at the British with. If there are any British people watching, we are all friends today, but back then, not as close, but it's totally fine. If there's tension right now, we're all friends. However, they not only did that, but this fence that surrounds the park is from the 1770s, and this fence used to have gold crowns right here on every main post. These gold crowns, as you can see, are no longer here.
And we can see that's kind of chiseled off.
Exactly.
Right
People
here.
would take them off to show defiance against the British. Again, we're totally friends today.
And apparently made into cannonballs.
There you go.
That's one of the myths, yeah.
So, it's had a bit of an interesting history with our British friends, but it's totally fine today. But people walking past this park without doing our tours might not really know the crazy history behind a spot just like this.
Yeah.
On the other side of it all, with keeping it present, it's a beautiful park that again is surrounded by so many gorgeous buildings. If you want to kind of get some lunch or hang out, there's a lot of local New Yorkers that come here just to enjoy the day, and especially on a beautiful day like today, to sit right here.
Wonderful. And Tom remembers this story. Marie from Sweden, welcome. Norma, first time in New York City, went in January this year. You love New York. Those are your initials. Oh, amazing. Carmen from California, welcome. Becky says, hi Eric, good afternoon to both of you.
My old friend.
And watching from Bloomington, Illinois, Indiana. Seja, your hotel is behind the corner, wonderful. And Bill, there's one building that's brand new, which is the San Elian Ferry. And Sadaf, any movies was shot here? Well, we mentioned How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And I'm not sure about Bowling Green. Not entirely sure. And hello, Sonia from Long Island. Hello, Begonia from Spain. Sadaf says we're super awesome.
Sadaf, you're super awesome.
And Brian, Ghostbusters 2. Yes.
Benoit from Paris. Bonjour, mon ami.
Again, everyone, I'm Ariel. This is Eric, New York Tour 1. Like this page if you want to see more videos like this. We're exploring the history of old New York in downtown Manhattan.
We're actually very close to some really amazing things. So as we walk through this Bowling Green Park, we've got a beautiful little fountain here, but we're gonna start walking this way because there's a little surprise we have for you. A couple of famous people we want to introduce you to. So as you're walking, you'll notice that a lot of people are sitting out here enjoying their day, but it's funny to be a New Yorker because sometimes you forget how famous different places are all around you. We're walking by some of the most historic spots in New York, but we also have amazing musicians as well. What is that?
Which is awesome, yeah. One of the staples of New York City. Benoit asked if you speak French because you pronounce the name on point.
Oh, merci. Je peux parler un peu de français. J'ai étudié à Paris 4 mois à l'université et un jour je pense que je vais habiter à Paris.
Can you tell everyone in French to share this video and like New York Tours 1?
S'il vous plaît, mes amis français, je veux pour... how do I say share? Benoit, aidez-moi. Comment est-ce que je dis share?
Wonderful. That was wonderful.
Yeah, there you go. That was close. Oh, so we were just walking through the park, beautiful musicians, all about kind of the New York magic of this city. And then, of course, as we're showing you, the beautiful, beautiful architecture and the tall buildings surrounding us here. You might also see, as the camera pans, an interesting guy in a gold outfit. Just kind of another little New York perk as you walk around. Oh, he's a little flirty, so...
People are loving this, by the way.
Loving it.
Norma, me encanta Nueva York. Qué bien. Comparte este video con tu familia y tus amigos y amigas y que enseña la belleza de Nueva York. Y hacemos tours aquí en Nueva York en NewYorkTour1.com. And that's a smart taxi cab. And someone earlier said that they need you for French tours as well.
Oh yeah, we do some French tours actually, so check us out.
So what are we looking at right now?
We're looking at a lot of people. We're also looking at a very famous statue that is the Charging Bull. The Charging Bull is right behind me here. If you're wondering why so many people are crowded around this specific spot,
Yeah.
the bull was given to us
Is
as a
his
gift.
face in the front?
His face is in the front. It's a very good point. I will try to say this delicately. It is good luck to touch 2 spots on the back of the bull. All I will say is the male anatomy.
You have
If
to
you-
grab the bull by its
Cojones.
Yeah, cojones.
I would recommend hand sanitizer. It's a little disgusting.
I mean,
But-
you could tell from the color change in the sculpture, which we'll show a little bit up close.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, this charging bull, a lot of people wonder how it was put here. It's a very good question because it was given as a gift by an artist named Arturo di Modica. This artist spent a lot of his own money. I'm talking $360,000 of his own money.
Wow.
And he placed it on the back of a flatbed truck. Now, the year, it was 1989, December. He drove this truck to the New York Stock Exchange. We're going to be going there later. It's amazing.
Which is towards that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
However, it's a very heavy bull. It's many thousands of pounds, but he knew in the middle of the night the security guards were not looking for 15 minutes, and somehow he took this bull off of the back of the truck, put it on the ground in front of a New York City landmark, and literally ran away. Now, the New Yorkers, we woke up and loved this gift. It's the Charging Bull. It's a symbol of power, aggression here in the financial district. Do you know who did not like it?
Ooh.
The police. Not the biggest fans. They're like, you can't just dump a multi-thousand-pound statue on the ground. So they literally took it away and put it into a jail, essentially. They then, us New Yorkers, made such a fuss. We said, that is our present. Give us our present back. We had a complete temper tantrum. But they placed him out here temporarily. I think it's been here for like 25 years. It's here to stay. But, as we told you, it's good luck to touch the back of the bull, which is why there are so many people gathered right here. Let's get a closer look.
And Tina says, "Oh my God, Eric, I'm in love with you." Hysterical.
Tina, let's get married.
So as you can tell, that's what people are doing. And the actual testicle area is lighter colored because it's been touched so much.
The most touched cojones in the world.
We can say that. And
yeah, this
does
statue
the
is-
bull have a name?
The Charging Bull. Does he have a different name?
Todd. I guess that was the name that people added to it. I wonder if the artist had an initial name.
Maybe it's like Joe.
It could be.
We'll call him Joe.
Yeah, we'll
Joe,
call him Joe.
I'm so sorry you're touched so much. Hopefully you're okay with that. But this is such a popular spot. A lot of our tours, we go through this, and if you do want to get a selfie or a good luck charm, it is totally possible. However, you might want to elbow your way through the crowd a little bit. But there is another unbelievable spot that's a part of this Charging Bull area, and you might have heard about it or read it in the news. It's a brand new statue. And without telling you too much, I want you guys to follow me, and we're going to make our way around for a dramatic reveal. All right?
Amazing. Susan already knows. Awesome. And still here for 1 year. And was the artist Colombian? I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not sure if it was Colombian.
And why the balls? Because a lot of people think it's good luck. Basically.
I've actually never touched them, so...
I recommend it. It does bring some good luck.
People have to take a photo.
Ooh.
Here she is. Oh, there she is, everyone. That is the Fearless Girl. She is a brand new statue that is very close to the Charging Bull. This Fearless Girl has made headlines around the world. She was placed here very recently because it represents gender equality. She is facing off that Charging Bull in a very strong pose. And you can see this amazing angle.
Wow.
The Charging Bull is right in front of her, and I know there's a lot of people, but you can see how important this statue is. Not only is she an amazing symbol of gender equality, but specifically, someone placed her here to represent we need more women working on the boards of our corporations. And it's such an amazing message that New Yorkers, people visiting, have really embraced her as an important sense of how both women and men need those equal opportunities. And so it's creating beautiful big crowds here. But
You can tell by all
as
the
you
people.
can see, it was just decided very recently that while she was first considered a temporary statue here, she will be here for at least 1 more year, which is an unbelievable testament to her message. And there's also even more controversy.
Ooh, why?
This statue is so loved by everyone, but a person who is not the biggest fan is the artist of the charging bull, Arturo Di
There. And what happened?
He essentially has been making his own headlines by trying to get this fearless girl taken away. Now we all
New York City. And that's a shame because
it's a complete shame. She's an amazing symbol, and so he's saying that the statue is changing the message of his statue, and so he wants her to be taken out of this area. I think that's going to be a bit of a showdown, the fearless girl actually facing off the charging bull. So keep your eyes on the news because we're going to see if there is a showdown between those two.
And but aside of like gender issues, it's kind of weird that the guy who built this amazing huge statue, suddenly his entire meaning of the statue is reappropriated.
It is true. It definitely completely changes the meaning of his statue. But it's definitely a very interesting piece of art because the meaning is changing as you're putting different things. And that's art, y'all. That's art.
We're coming to New York. Simona says we're coming to New York City the first time. Be sure to take a tour with Eric on New York Tour1.
That's right.
NewYorkTour1.com. And Tom, Times Square is indeed 3 miles away. It is about a 10-minute train ride on the subway. Mona, Hope thinks you're right. Awesome. And Sadaf, yes, Times Square is about 10 minutes away. Bill says New Yorkers are the world's greatest people.
Aww.
Oh, thank you. And Anne, I miss it. She missed knishes and hot dog parts.
Oh, I love a good knish. Katz's Deli, you've been so good.
And Franca says she's courageous. Allison says my NYC has so much history. Ooh, wonderful. And I was there the day she was installed. Says
Wow.
Oh, cool. Amazing. Let us know. For everyone tuning in, I'm Ariel. This is Eric with New York Tour 1. We're exploring the history of old New York in downtown Manhattan. We run tours all around the city, especially here in downtown Manhattan, in Wall Street, Statue of Liberty. So check out our tours at NewYorkTour1.com. Like this page if you want to see more videos like this, and share this video with your friends and family if you want to show them the beauty of New York City. And let us know where you're watching from. And what's your favorite part about New York City? Let us know too. What's your favorite part of New York City?
I was just thinking, my favorite part is a kind of a combination. The history I love so much because of how far New York has come and all the beautiful history you can discover while walking around. But also, I love that it's a melting pot. And that kind of applies in so many different ways. So many different kinds of people are here living together beautifully.
Yeah.
My friend, an amazing tour guide with our company, Rachel, she says it's kind of like the biggest social experiment of the world, putting all these kinds of people together and seeing how we live in a really nice way. It's so awesome. And then that also applies to the food, y'all. The food.
And Sadaf asks, how long is your tour specifically for downtown Manhattan?
My tour, the one that I do a lot, is a 2-hour tour. And if you want, you can either do the 2 hours with me through Lower Manhattan, and then you can purchase tickets for the Statue of Liberty, which is included in our tour. So when you purchase the tickets for the Lower Manhattan Statue of Liberty Ellis Island tour, you walk with me around Lower Manhattan, and then you already get those tickets to the Statue of Liberty. It's the best way of seeing New York, but so many other tours we do. I do neighborhood tours all over the city.
Amazing. All right. We went here, so we're walking down Broadway, all along where a lot of the Ticker Day parades take place. And now we're going down this dark corner. Where are we?
This seems a little scary, but trust me,
It's just scaffolding.
Just scaffolding. You know what's funny about New York City is when the weather becomes really nice, all of a sudden the construction goes crazy. So it's gorgeous, but sometimes it's a little hard to hear yourself think. But the city is always changing. There's actually a different tour that I do that you guys should all check out when you're here. It's the Chelsea Market, High Line, and Meatpacking tour. It's a really great part of the city. But that area, especially the Meatpacking district, is always under construction because it's constantly evolving. It's an unbelievable neighborhood full of food, history, and the High Line is gorgeous. And it's always becoming better and better, which is a part of the reason why I love it so much.
It's amazing. And Norma, again, the site is New York Tour 1. New York Tour 1 with the number 1. And you live in rural Tennessee and you were born and raised in New York City. And oh my God, the food is great here. Yes, indeed. And Mona, what do you suggest is the first time to come to New York City? What's the best time to come to New York City?
There's a bunch of times. I would say this time of year is beautiful. I also love when it's the fall, around September, October. Beautiful weather, and the city is really, really alive. But honestly, every time of year is great.
Where are we? Wow, this is Broad Street right now. Amazing. Look at this.
As I said, new construction, but it is a beautiful, kind of tucked away part of Manhattan.
Wow. And this is what most people think about when they think about New York finance, Wall Street. Daniela from France, welcome. Idijana from NYC, you miss it? I can imagine. NYC is such a gorgeous city. Johnny from Ohio, you'll be back later. You're so welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, like this page if you want to see more videos from New York Tour 1. We're exploring New York City. New York Tour 1 does tours all around the city. And Michael, y'all need to take a trip down the South Bronx. Stay tuned. So I actually do my own site called Urbanist Live, so you can like that page. I'll probably be visiting the South Bronx at some point. Here we're featuring all the cool tours that New York Tour 1 does. And they get really in depth into these amazing areas of New York City.
So there's a lot going on where we're standing right here. You might be a little overwhelmed. There's a lot of people, gorgeous buildings, but what you're facing right now is the Federal Hall Memorial. This memorial is a gorgeous building, and you might notice the statue on the front there is a guy you recognize, George Washington, obviously our first president of this country. Now, this is an interesting spot for a couple of reasons. Number one, he was sworn in as the first president of this country in this location. When he was sworn in here, New York City was the capital of the country. This was kind of controversial because there was a lot of power here, and the South was not too happy about that. The political power was here, the financial power was here, so they moved the capital from New York to Philadelphia, and then from Philadelphia to DC. But once the capital left New York City, the original building that stood here, they said it was no longer important, and so they tore it down for $400 worth of scrap. It was not a very good move because it's a beautiful building, very historic, and George Washington was sworn in right there. However,
it had a nice balcony too.
Gorgeous balcony, which is a great point to say because look at the statue of George Washington. The pose he is standing in, some people don't know what's going on. They're like, why is he standing? I thought he was getting a manicure. It's not right. That's not right. I found out. However, two different reasons I've heard. Number one, someone thinks he's resting his hand on the balcony of the actual building and looking out, or he's resting his hand on the Bible when he's getting sworn in as the president. I've heard more, though, it's the balcony as he's looking out, but it's interesting to see the actual statue on this beautiful building, which was built around the year 1842. Super beautiful building in its own right, and very historic in its own right as well. Yes, the original building was torn down, but a lot of important things were decided in this building and in this location. There's a lot going on here. And you can see it's a great photo opportunity because of all the gorgeous architecture. And the architecture of this building, it's taken from a couple of different places. They were inspired by the Parthenon in Greece and the Pantheon in Rome to represent the American ideals, which are democracy and economic might. So you can see this kind of contrasting architectural designs here, but it comes together in a very beautiful way. I actually recently heard that while this building has so much history here, something beautiful sometimes happens when there are citizens who become new citizens of the United States. Their welcoming ceremony is inside of this building here.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's a lovely kind of circle of life moment, bringing people together from our history to our present, welcoming them to the United States and New York City.
That's amazing. Wow. And Anne says she's getting a great education in New York.
Good.
Bill's homesick from Phoenix. Hope I explored New York City by myself and felt totally safe. Yes, indeed. You're from New Jersey. Wonderful. And Anne, yes, everyone should take their kids to NYC. Very educational. And take them on the New York Tour 1 tour. And who made the statue? Who is the artist?
It's actually a really interesting connection.
Yeah.
It's between this statue, which is, of course, George Washington, and a statue on a very, very famous building, which we're going to be showing you or talking about, the New York Stock Exchange. The artist has an amazing connection that's the same as these two statues here. And that statue on the top that we're pointing at is called Integrity Protecting the Works of Man. The woman in there in the middle, she's named Integrity, and on either side of her, she's protecting the works of man. Since we're looking at it, though, we should talk about this beautiful building. You can see it is the New York Stock Exchange, the center of trading for many, many years. But the story behind it is it's pretty crazy.
What happened?
Let's talk about it. This building was built many, many years ago, 1903, for $4 million. When this was built, it was a very big deal. Now you can see, a fair amount of people, 100, 200 people out here. There were 20,000 people standing out here to see the unveiling of this building because it's so beautiful. It was the largest indoor space in New York City when it was built, so very, very historic. And of course, it was the center for trading. But trading had been done here for many years before that, the early 1900s when this was built. It essentially started around the year 1792. An agreement was signed that said you had to trade in official bank buildings called the Buttonwood Agreement. The Buttonwood Agreement got its name because it was signed under the shade of a buttonwood tree. Now, to give you an idea of a gorgeous, stunning buttonwood tree, let's look at this beautiful largeness of that tree straight ahead. You can barely see it. It's a tiny tree. Like, there's so much money on Wall Street. Buy a bigger tree. Buy a bigger tree.
I mean, will it grow eventually? Bigger?
I hope so. I hope it grows. It's tiny. I think the original tree was much larger, but that actually is a buttonwood tree.
Yeah.
But that agreement was signed in the late 1700s, and so as the years go by, trading was done in official bank buildings, and this was built. Now, trading was done here for many, many years, but technology has advanced, as you all know, and as the years have gone by, trading has been done less here, mainly because it's done electronically around the world. So around 10% of trading is now done inside this building. 90% is done around the world electronically. A quick shout out to my twin brother. True story, I have a twin brother. He is tiny, but he works in finance back in St. Louis, Missouri, where I'm originally from, and he has more to do with the New York Stock Exchange than I do, and we are standing right by it. So it is a bit more of a symbol today because trading is not done here as much as it once was.
So it's not that like people yelling at each other
Not
as you see in
as
the movies.
much. They still ring that bell. There still is some activity, but not as much exactly as you see in those movies. But it still is a very historic spot. In fact, it has been landmarked. It's against the law to tear down this building.
Yeah.
There's actually something I found out recently that connects to this. You guys have probably heard about or seen Grand Central. If you've never been to Grand Central in New York City, beautiful train station built in 1913. You might not know, though, in 1968, they tried to tear down Grand Central to build office buildings in its place because it wasn't doing very good business. But Jackie O, John F. Kennedy's wife, she fought very hard to preserve that building, and after a long battle, she won. It is against the law to tear down Grand Central, and the same goes for this building right here. You cannot tear it down because it's such an important historic landmark, and you can see why. Beautiful Corinthian columns here supporting that gorgeous statue. And it really is. It transports you back to many years ago when the buildings were built in a very different way from how they are built today.
Wow. And a gorgeous building it is.
It really is. We also are standing not only in front of the Federal Hall, the New York Stock Exchange, but this is Wall Street. We are standing on the actual Wall Street.
The actual wall was here.
There was one specific wall. Now, you're probably wondering, well, wait, why do they call it Wall Street? It's because of that one wall that went down the middle of the street. It was a pretty tall wall built in the 1600s by the Dutch, and they built this for an interesting reason. The Dutch came over as traders. They would trade with the Native Americans that were here, guns and ammunition for beaver pellets. However, there was an issue with protecting themselves against the Native Americans. I think there was some clashing, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
So they built this wall to protect them against the Native Americans as well. They were trading with the Native Americans, protecting themselves against the Native Americans. An interesting relationship, but there was an issue with the water. The water was not safe to drink, so they would drink alcohol to quench their thirst, right? They would trade by day and drink alcohol by night. So nothing has changed on Wall Street. That was not nice. That's joking.
And the funny thing about that it wasn't fully completed to the ocean, to the river, so the Native Americans would just sneak around and attack.
Probably not the smartest way.
And we can see the original remnants right here of the wall. So here is the original area where the wall is, and this dates back all the way to the 1600s. Anne, welcome. Sadaf, you've been to the wall before. Amazing. And you think Grand Central is the same one? Yes, we're talking about the Grand Central right by 42nd Street. Tom, hello. Susan, you weren't there for the, wasn't there a previous Grand Central from the one that stands today? Yes, there was. There was Grand Central Station. And Hope, hello. Bill, if anyone in New York City needs a roommate, let me know. All right, cool. Thank you for shouting that out. And Brenda, exploring the city on your own is great. Yes, indeed. And the cool thing is, especially when you join with an amazing tour guide like Eric, you really get in depth into the history and have an awesome time also.
Yeah, it's like we're friends hanging out.
Yeah. And Anne, if you didn't go, if you do go to New York and take this tour. Yes. New York Tour1. Like this page if you want to see more videos like this, and share this video right now with your friends, family, loved ones, strangers, if you want to show them the beauty of New York City. All right. Great to see New York City. Hello, Elizabeth. Indeed. Mohammed. Yes, great to see New York City indeed. Here's a 360 view right at Wall Street.
Well, we can walk down Wall Street this way.
Yes.
I'll lead the way, my friends. This is, like we said, Wall Street.
Yes.
However, there's a lot of buildings that people don't really realize has a lot of history behind them. Now, I told you about Federal Hall, of course, but as you're walking down, Wall Street is interesting because there's so much activity here, but there's also different buildings that have the story behind them will blow your mind. There is something, though, that people really don't know about that is a bit of definitely a sad story. Switching gears a bit, people think that September 11, 2001 was the first terrorist attack in the United States or in New York City, but it actually was not. It was in this very spot that I'm standing in 1920. It was September 16th, and a horse-drawn carriage rode up here at 12 o'clock. At 12:01, right after noon, the driver ran out of this horse-drawn carriage, and all of a sudden, a fireball went into the sky. These were small lead weights that were with explosive devices, and they shattered the windows in a quarter-of-a-mile radius. It was a very terrible attack, and 38 people lost their lives on this day. Very, very devastating. However, they opened the New York Stock Exchange, which we just showed you, the day after the attack. Us New Yorkers, we do not stop living our lives out of fear, right? We continue to move forward.
Yeah.
And so they completely cleaned up the entire area. This area had so much destruction that it was pretty daunting to actually clean up the wreckage, but it was all completely cleaned up. No evidence of this attack remains, except for one specific spot right behind me. Follow me this way.
Interesting. And does anyone know who was the attacker?
Very good question. It's still a mystery today.
It's crazy.
People think it was maybe Italian anarchists that were fighting capitalism or communists fighting capitalism. We still do not know. It's a very big mystery, and it really adds sort of a crazy quality to that story. But I told you, no evidence of the attack. They completely cleaned it up. That's a small lie. There's actually one spot behind me where you can see the lead weights took chunks out of the wall. This spot right here.
And what building are we looking at?
It's a very famous building that is the House of J.P. Morgan. The House of Morgan, my friends. And this was kept here on purpose. Now, people often ask me, well, if they cleaned up the entire area, why did they keep the evidence right there?
Yeah.
They did it to honor the victims of that day. To say, yes, we always move forward. We do not stop living our lives out of fear, but we never forget what happened in our past as well. And this honors those 38 people who lost their lives on that day. And it's very important for us to notice this because it means that they are never forgotten. And it really goes to show you the really intense history of this area. Not only is the architecture beautiful, not only did America, a lot of our founding cornerstones were decided in this spot, but a lot of very happy and very sad moments have taken place all in these neighborhoods as well.
Oh, so we're looking, so this is not building decay. this is actually the bomb markings. Wow. So not even JP Morgan couldn't even be taken down by a bomb.
JP Morgan, super wealthy guy.
Yeah. And this building is very strong itself. You see how thick these walls are.
And it really is a beautiful house. He actually bailed the U.S. out of 2 financial crises. He owned the first billion-dollar company, U.S. Steel. Very wealthy guy. And JP Morgan, a lot of people don't realize, owned the White Star Line, which owned the Titanic, which I'm sure you all know the movie has a sad ending.
Spoilers. And Sadaf says New Yorkers are the most resilient type of people.
Totally.
Yeah, you could tell how this building is still standing here today, completely intact by a huge bomb, one of the biggest bombs in New York City history before September 9/11, and only a few scratches.
Yeah, it really, I mean, it's kind of withheld the test of time. It's a beautiful, beautiful building. But I love when people do these tours, when you walk past, you would have no idea what those markings are actually from. People might think it's actual decay from how long it's been here, but there really is a very, very intense story behind those markings there. So I'm glad you guys got to see it today.
That's amazing, wonderful. And were many people killed? Asked Pete.
Yeah, there were around 38 people who lost their lives on that day.
And Carl says he'll be in New York City this September. Awesome. Take a tour with Eric. And Sadaf is your 9-hour walking tour, kids friendly.
So our full-day tours are amazing. We do now, the 6-hour tour is an unbelievable opportunity to see a lot of New York City. It depends how young your kids are, because it is definitely a lot of walking, but you see all over New York, and at the end you can go up to the observatory at One World Trade. It's a gorgeous view of New York.
Great way to end the tour. Wow.
Oh, definitely. You should totally check that one out. If you want to see a lot of New York in one day, the 6-hour tour is unbelievable.
Wonderful. And Seth says, this tour guy is pretty great. Hell yeah. Eric is
Hell
amazing.
yeah.
And hello, Eileen. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Peter says, at 38 people. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Oh, how many people were killed. And the New York police is the greatest. Yeah, they're awesome, awesome police force. Great. Where are we heading now?
Well, I like to kind of talk about the history of an interesting building that's actually right behind me here.
Uh-oh. Do people want to see this now?
Now, it is the Trump building, but I promise you no Trump jokes on this part of the video. But it was originally not the Trump building. It was the Manhattan Trust Bank building, built in 1930. This building, I don't know if you can see, if you look up, it goes up pretty high into the sky there. It's a tall
and
building.
it's tiered, just like the Empire State Building.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And this building was being built at the same time as the Chrysler building. If you Google the Chrysler building, if you know what I'm talking about, beautiful, beautiful building. You might think I'm making this up. There was a direct competition between the buildings who could build a taller building. Like, it was like reality TV of its day. Craig Severance, the architect of this building here, wanted to build a taller building than the Chrysler building, and the Chrysler building wanted to be taller than this. The newspapers every single day would say, ooh, the bank building's taller. Oh no, it's the Chrysler building is taller. It was a crazy competition, but they finished construction. And this building was taller just by a little bit. And so...
This building beat up the Chrysler building?
It did, you guys.
Oh, wow.
The celebrations were cray. I'm talking popping champagne. I'm talking getting wasted. They were so excited to win this huge competition. They woke up the next day to a bit of an unhappy surprise. The Chrysler building had a secret weapon, a 185-foot tall spire hidden in the elevator shaft that they unloaded in the middle of the night and put on top of the building. Not only did these people lose by many, many, many feet, they had the worst hangover of their lives. Just like really, really devastating for them.
Wow, that sucks that just the day after, boom. Nope.
I'm so sorry, Trump building, not
and
taller.
then the Empire State Building caved just like 2 years later.
Whoops. Our buildings keep getting taller and taller.
Yeah, they keep getting taller and taller. Edwig says, Je arrive at New York.
Shitty. Perfect. See you then.
And Owen says, from Vermont, work in New York, you love it. Ellen says, I want that name out of our city. Yes, indeed, I imagine. And Owen, back to Green Market soon. Yes. And oh my God, was that a Knish cart? This one, okay. Yes, that was a Knish cart right over there, I think. Amazing.
So as we're walking, we're actually getting a gorgeous view of Trinity Church. Trinity Church is that church way down Wall Street that way. It's kind of the beautiful silhouette between the buildings on Wall Street. It really gives us a gorgeous vantage point. And this church, as we're walking, it really shows you the history of New York and how far the city has grown in terms of the size of our buildings. This church, first of all, is not the first church to be in this location. Trinity Church, the name Trinity is just kind of a weird coincidence because of the three churches, but the first church was built a long time ago, around 1698. That was destroyed. However, 1776, that was destroyed as well. And the reason they were destroyed, there was a snowstorm that destroyed one of the buildings. There was a fire that destroyed the church at one point. This church that was built in 1846, and it is a gorgeous church. This church was the tallest building in New York City, but not like a year or two. This was the tallest building in the entire city for 40 years. For 4 decades, this was taller than every single building. So when you came into the harbor of New York, you could see the top of Trinity Church towering over the other buildings. And that goes to show you how far the city has come. The buildings have gotten way taller, but for a long time, that's as tall as they got. It's a gorgeous church. Many influential people worship there. And we're going to get closer in just a few minutes.
Derek, you saying loving the Scottish flag here. Cool, I don't think I've seen it, but that's awesome that you spotted it. Laura says, all Trinity Church? Yes, indeed. And Elaine, used to be my own work building, 40 Wall Street. Amazing.
I actually have to also, have to tell you guys that during our tour, we go inside of Federal Hall.
Ooh.
And so we get a great sneak peek today, especially from this angle. Look how beautiful George Washington looks. But during our tour, we go inside the building. There's a little museum in there, some really interesting spots as well. So if you do the tours with us, you got to check that out because it is an awesome spot. But we're going to keep walking because I got to show you Trinity Church up close. Absolutely.
Amazing.
And you can see how many people are out here. It's a very active part of town.
Yeah, lots of people walking around, especially during the daytime. And nighttime is a little bit different because it's still a very daytime neighborhood.
Yeah, it's interesting when you explore different neighborhoods of New York, how the kind of the culture, the personality of each neighborhood is different. And that's why doing these tours and exploring is so fun, because this neighborhood could not be more different from Chinatown. Chinatown could not be more different from Little Italy and Soho. We actually do a Soho, Little Italy, Chinatown tour. That's really great to see 3 neighborhoods that feel like 3 different worlds. So that's one of my favorite tours that I give.
And Brenda, spoilers. We might see a very famous man. So you might. And Joe, we're getting lots of tips from you as visiting December. Awesome. Be sure again to like this page, New York Tour 1, the number 1, and then share this video with your friends and family. Again, we are walking towards Trinity Church. We are in downtown Manhattan in New York City. And you would love to live in New York City, Denise? Amazing. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
And on the tours, you have people from all over the world watching, right?
It's actually really amazing to do these tours because I get to make friends with people all over the world. Like you guys watching right now, it's like we're kind of just friends hanging out. And so when you do our tours, I love meeting people from all over the world. I mean, I sometimes do tours where it's like 9 or 10 different countries are represented. It's kind of like the Olympics in a way. And we all win.
We do all win. Marianne, again, NewYorkTour1.com. That's how you find all the tours. The New York Tour 1 with the number 1.
NewYorkTour1.com.
Yeah, that's how you find it. Someone could write the link on the comments. We'll really appreciate it.
So we're nice and close to the Trinity Church. Actually, not only is Trinity Church here, but take a look to your right as well. You can see Broadway is this street right here, and Broadway goes all the way up, and very far in the distance is the Chrysler Building up there. It's a pretty
tiny
view.
Yeah.
Tiny. But Broadway, like I told you, is all the way from the bottom to the top. So every part of Broadway has cool stuff, including Trinity Church. We just got the light though, so let's cross.
All right, awesome. So how old is this church?
This church was built 1846. It is a beautiful, beautiful church, and as we get closer, you'll see there's so much detail on this church, and if we just go around the side here,
Okay.
it really shows you how you're transported to a different time. A lot of people think New York is Times Square, it's these super tall buildings, but a church like this, come over here, really shows you the rich history and the architecture, and because New York was born many, many, many years ago. So yes, Times Square, unbelievable, crazy spot. Broadway shows, you gotta see Broadway shows, but you really gotta honor the history as well. I mean, George Washington would come to this church and actually worship here, and it still is a functioning church. There are weddings here, there are ceremonies here, and it's a really, really beautiful, kind of quaint, quiet spot to go to. Now, of course, during the tour, you go inside the church as well, but we want to respect them during this video, so we're gonna leave it now, but it's a beautiful, beautiful inside. I mean, the high arches, the stained glass windows. There's a spot in the back that's a quiet reading room. New York City, as I'm sure you can tell from this video, is a little loud, a little hectic, but there are these pockets where it's completely quiet. It kind of lets you escape from the chaos of the city from time to time. But this church, not only is it beautiful outside, inside, but one of the main attractions is who is buried in the graveyard.
Who wants to see Hamilton? If you want to see Hamilton, press that heart button right now. We will take all 222 of you right now to see Hamilton.
Show us those hearts for Hamilton, y'all.
Show us those hearts for Hamilton. Let's keep on walking. All right. Oh, we're getting lots of hearts.
Yes.
Amazing. Oh.
Hashtag hearts for Hamilton.
People, I love that. People really want to see Hamilton. We're going to show them Hamilton today on this tour. I'm so excited. Are you excited?
I'm so pumped. You guys don't even know. It's such a big deal.
I haven't seen Hamilton yet, so I'm like super excited for
This
this.
is big. This is big. I love keep seeing those hearts, y'all.
Ooh. And here it is.
So, did you guys just spend $700 on a ticket? No, you watch this video, you're seeing Hamilton right now.
For free, right here.
Oh, free, oh, free. This is Hamilton's grave, and this is partly why it's one of the most famous and historic churches in Manhattan. Alexander Hamilton, his wife Eliza Hamilton, buried right here, and their gravestones are beautiful, right? I don't even know where to begin when you talk about Alexander Hamilton. As I'm sure by the hearts I saw, there's been a very big resurgence in popularity when it comes to Alexander Hamilton. Unbelievable guy. He was really one of the main reasons why America was developed the way that it was. He created so many different systems that we use, and he also has a Broadway musical on Broadway now called Hamilton the Musical. First of all, if anyone doesn't know about the musical,
Yeah.
totally fine. But to give you some perspective, it is the biggest smash hit on Broadway. It is around, $700 for a ticket some people are purchasing.
Wow.
And it's sold out for a year. If you're wondering, like, Eric, why is it so good? What's the big deal? Because really, a show about Hamilton sounds boring. I understand. The music is rap, hip-hop, unbelievable lyrics, so beautifully written. The actors are all diverse to show the melting pot of America, and the show won the Pulitzer Prize, one of the biggest awards any piece of art can win in this country. It won 11 Tony Awards. It won the Grammy Award. It is so good, it's sold out for a year. But people are reselling tickets for $700, for $2,000. I have seen the show, but I did not pay $2,000. I won the lottery, y'all. There is a lottery you can enter.
Pro tip.
Pro tip.
Yeah.
That lottery. Here's the thing. The online lottery now, when you visit New York, enter it every single day. My good friend has entered this lottery around 400 times. I'm not exaggerating.
Oh, wow.
He has won 0 times. However, there are some of you guys out there that I know are such good luck charms that you're going to come to New York, you're going to enter the Hamilton lottery, and you are going to win. And if you do win, and you need someone to go with you, who are you going to call? Eric Williams. Thank you so much. I want to see it again.
Oh, wow. And thank you, everyone, for all the hearts and the smiley faces. I love it. And you're watching from Queens. And yes, this is Hamilton's grave. He's buried right here. And Eliza, who was also a very important woman, right here. And is also Alexander Hamilton's son? No, his daughter. I
So
see here.
Philip right there has a little marking. I've heard though that his son is buried here, but they don't know exactly where he is. As you see, it says, we know he was buried in Trinity Churchyard. The exact location is unknown. It's a pretty crazy mystery.
And where's Aaron Burr?
Aaron Burr is in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
So,
No one goes there.
some people do. It's beautiful.
To Aaron Burr.
No, not Aaron Burr. Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Aaron Burr is the person who killed Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know that, long story short, they had a disagreement. They were going to have a duel, where you point your gun into the sky, you shoot, you show how manly you are, you move on. They could not do the duel in New York. It was against the law because Hamilton's son died in a duel. So they went where everything is legal, New Jersey. They go to New Jersey. Hamilton shoots into the sky. Aaron Burr shoots Hamilton in the side, and he died from those injuries. He was only 47 years old. He was a very young guy. He accomplished so much, but Aaron Burr, yes, did a lot of amazing things, but he's the reason why Hamilton was killed. He, in the musical, tells you a crazy story of their relationship, and if you do get to see it, you should. It's not only on Broadway now, it's in Chicago. There's a company in San Francisco for a national tour. There's going to be a second national tour. It's going to be in London. It's going to be in Australia, Canada. 7 companies are going to do Hamilton around the world, projected to make over $1 billion. A Broadway musical, y'all.
Just by this guy, Hamilton. And someone earlier asked, how long is your tour? And what do you do?
It depends on which tour that you do. A lot of times, the tour that we do in Lower Manhattan is either a 2-hour tour walking, and then you do the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island. There's a separate tour that starts by going to the Statue of Liberty. It's an amazing tour, and that's around 4 hours long. Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. So really, you have so many choices as to 2-hour tours, 4-hour tours, whatever you would like. Just go to NewYork Tour1.com, and there's a very long list of all the amazing tours we do.
Amazing. Wonderful. And here's Robert Fulton, steam engine.
Beautiful gravestone here. The
This looks so
analogy I like to say, when he came up with the steamboat, it completely revolutionized the industry in New York.
Yeah.
It's as if a horse-drawn buggy was the only way to deliver something, and then Amazon Prime was invented. It completely changed the world, and he has a beautiful gravestone here. Actually, there's a subway station named Fulton Street, named after Robert Fulton. So it shows you how influential he was, and he's an amazing guy, and he gets a little overshadowed right now by Hamilton being close by, but equally important, unbelievable person. And you can see it's a really, really beautiful gravestone and a beautiful graveyard. I mean, it's kind of a quaint location, actually. It's very different from Wall Street, right? Beautiful trees here. And look behind me, One World Trade's poking out.
Right there, yeah. Wow.
Beautiful
So
view.
we are truly in the middle of the city. And this graveyard still stands today. And Anne, you're from New York City. You've been away for so long. You would take this tour when you visit.
We'd love to have you, Anne.
Awesome. Is there any other highlights in this graveyard?
I would say that we're kind of doing the greatest hits right now, and it really those are my favorite spots to point out. I do love, as we're walking, just to kind of see how quaint and quiet it gets here. But it's beautiful because you're in the middle of the financial district and so many beautiful tall buildings, and yet you have kind of a serene spot with a gorgeous church, beautiful graveyard, and any chance for me to talk about Hamilton, I'll talk about it. It's good.
Wonderful. Indeed. Very gorgeous, very quiet. Again, everyone, let us know where you're watching from if you're just tuning in. We are New York Tour 1. I'm Ariel. I'm with Eric. And we do tours all around New York City. NewYorkTour1.com. And Nancy, is it true that there are caskets underneath the ground in the rooms by the family? Is there catacombs underneath here?
I believe there are, yeah. A lot of these gravestones you can see are above ground, but also underground as well.
And wasn't Trinity Church important to 9/11? And there is an entire tour on 9/11, right?
Yeah, there is. We do a tour of 9/11. There's actually a church, St. Paul's, is very close, that was miraculously completely unscathed from those buildings falling. And that's just straight up Broadway this way. But There is definitely, we're pretty close to the 9/11 Memorial. And if you do a tour with us, we do a lot of tours. The Lower Manhattan tour that I do, that 2-hour tour that I was telling you about, that starts Lower Manhattan, goes to the Statue of Liberty, you go to the 9/11 Memorial during that tour, which is a really great experience to see all of Lower Manhattan.
Oh, amazing. And Gideon, yes, it's gorgeous, gorgeous day out here. Allison, you're from Ireland. Welcome. You're really enjoying this. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Who doesn't love history? I love history.
Love it.
Yeah.
As we're walking, do you want to show them these little ticker tape plaques?
Yeah.
So every one of these plaques represents a different parade that would go down Broadway. So this was for a retiring commander that came here in 1952. The first parade was when the Statue of Liberty came here many years ago. But it's really fun to walk up Broadway or down Broadway and read all these plaques because you can see, oh, there's my shadow. You can see what these parades were for.
And Anne says kids would love this tour. It's so educational. Yeah.
Definitely.
And what about tours with kids? Yes, you can bring your kids along with you.
Absolutely. We love having young people, all ages.
And Derek from Glasgow, Scotland, welcome, and thank you so much for enjoying the tour. I appreciate it.
My Scottish accent is amazing.
Oh.
Do you want to hear it?
Yes, I love Scottish accents.
Okay, so I've been working on my Scottish accent.
And Eric is an actor, so he knows this
Yeah,
stuff.
but like that means
accents.
I should be good at this. Here we go. My favorite color is blue.
Wonderful. I felt like I was in Glasgow.
Were you transported?
I was transported to Glasgow there for a few seconds.
My favorite color is blue.
For all the Scots watching, let us know. Hearts if you really like that
Be
accent.
easy on me, please.
Zoltan from Budapest, welcome. We have people from all over the world watching. Amazing. And now we're walking northward, right?
Yeah, we're walking in the north now. This is really beautiful because we're kind of seeing the different energy of this part of Manhattan.
Yeah.
To the left, you have the new World Trade Towers that have been built. And if you want, we can walk towards, get a view of the Oculus.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful new building built. This part of Manhattan's interesting because you've got the financial district, a lot of people working here, of course a lot of people visiting, but the 9/11 Memorial is of course a very difficult spot to visit, but also very important because they've really done a beautiful job with honoring a very sad day, but there's a feeling of hope at the same time, and that's very important.
That one?
Yeah.
And so in your downtown tour, what are the other areas you mostly cover? Just so people get a sneak peek.
So we do tours of Lower Manhattan, which is essentially the Wall Street area, Broadway with the Charging Bull, 9/11, and then the Battery Park area where you Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island.
Ah, cool.
We do a Ground Zero tour, which is all about the 9/11 Memorial and takes you all around the events of that day. There's also, like I told you, someone asked a great question about our full day tours. The full day tour essentially shows you all over Midtown. You go on the Staten Island Ferry to see great views of the Statue of Liberty, but then you finish at the 9/11 Memorial and you can go up to that observation deck at the end if you want to get those tickets as a part of the tour, which is again a beautiful view. Oh, personal touch, my friends got engaged at the observation deck on the top of One World Trade. So it's a beautiful view. It's a gorgeous New York moment because you can see
It's a
so
great
far.
place.
It really is.
Pro tip for everyone who's looking to get engaged.
Looking for a New York City engagement, top of One World Trade, but honestly, we see engagements all over. It's a beautiful city for love.
And Sadaf has an awesome question. How many miles do we walk a day? How about yourself? How many
Oh wow, it definitely varies. I mean, it's easy to walk, 8 miles in a day.
Yeah.
You can do 10 miles. I mean, if you look at the tracker on your phone.
Fitbit, yeah. I stopped tracking it, but I usually do anywhere from 6 to 8 miles a day.
Yeah. And when people visit, it is, let's just say you might need a vacation after your vacation. There's a lot of walking.
So a little bit more about Eric. You're an actor, and
I am, yeah. It's amazing because a lot of the tour guides are actors as well because we love to talk to people and kind of share stories. And I have done shows in New York, off-Broadway, done national tours.
Oh,
I
cool.
played Buddy the Elf in Elf the Musical, the national tour. And I'm also, auditioning for TV, commercials. So, yeah, it's great to be a tour guide and an actor at the same time because you get to
Use the same skills also.
Exactly.
And for me, I make videos on Urbanist, and I'm partnering up with New York Tour1 to bring their tours to life, like we're doing right now. Stay tuned for future looks into the rest of the city. And Allison says we make a great double act.
Yeah.
Allison, high five.
We're gonna take it on the road.
Ooh, what is this over here?
It's a brand new church that they're rebuilding. Yeah, it's the only house of worship that was destroyed on September 11th. It's a Greek Orthodox church. You can see they're in the middle of construction right now, and it's going to be a beautiful church. We're actually walking by the 9/11 memorial right now,
and we'll get further into that in the future video.
Definitely,
because you guys have a lot more detail in all that area.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot to visit there, but the reason why we're walking this way now is because you're getting a little sneak peek of those crazy white spires.
What is that? That looks like a fishbone.
It does. It's a very good point. That is a brand new building that is called the Oculus. And right now, we're going to get a good view to show you how crazy the architecture of that building is.
Oh, yeah.
While we're walking, though, it's nice for us to kind of enjoy this beautiful day, and you can see that there's still a lot of construction. There's definitely a lot of life happening down here because it's still being developed and moving forward, even many years after September 11, 2001. But as we're walking, you can see that so many people come here to visit because, again, yes, it's very sad, of course, but very important for us to acknowledge and honor the people whose lives were lost, but also to acknowledge what a beautiful job they've done with finding that balance here of having some hope as well. And it really is an area with so much life because there is the new One World Trade, which is, like I said, the tallest building in New York. So many people work there. There is a lot of different office buildings in this area, but there's shopping, there's food. There is this building I'm going to tell you about is a transit hub. There's a lot of subways that connect through there.
Oh, cool.
The trains to New Jersey connect there as well. And so, while, yes, very tough area for many years, as the years are going by, so much activity is being added back down here, which is a really important testament to New Yorkers moving forward and being strong.
Yeah, I'm just waving so people know. And security is tight where you're walking to. Yes, generally it is.
Oh, definitely, yeah. There's a lot of people always looking out here, and
whoa. Okay, if you're excited to take a look into the Oculus, press that wow face right now.
Wow.
Because every time I walk into it, I feel completely in awe. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, it's a crazy looking building.
Actually, let me get a drink of water, so hold this for a second.
Ooh, I'm holding this. That's so cool.
Oh, you don't move. Don't touch the camera because it's
Gotcha.
attached to it.
So this is an interesting spot. What we're coming up... Oh yeah, I see those wow faces. Amazing. This is a crazy looking building here. And essentially, you can hear a little bit of the construction happening.
Ooh, love all these wow faces. Here is the entrance of the Oculus, the World Trade Center Transportation Park.
Exactly. The Oculus, I'm going to be honest with you, we're all friends hanging out here. When this was under construction, a lot of New Yorkers did not like it. It looks really look, it's kind of crazy looking, right? You're like,
People do not want a whale carcass in the middle of their
Who
city?
doesn't want a whale carcass? You're right, I'm crazy. Whale carcasses are beautiful. Exactly. I thought it was like a whale carcass.
Yeah.
However, this is right by the 9/11 memorial, so you're wondering, what are they thinking here? First, this building cost a ton of money. The architect of this building is famous for going over the budget. But you guys, don't worry, it was a $2 billion budget. They're not going to go over $2 billion. Oh, I'm so sorry. He spent $4 billion. $4 billion just about to build this building. So people are wondering, why is it so expensive? Well, there's a few things to say. Number one, it's a pretty crazy looking building, but also the significance of this kind of crazy spires is supposed to look like the wings of a dove, and the dove is flying out. So that is a beautiful visual.
So that's what it's supposed to look like. A dove.
Not a whale carcass, a dove flying. So you can see.
It does make sense. Look how gorgeous, and the white sheens so much. It's a beautiful building. The more you look at it, the more
Exactly. And I'll fully say now that I love this building. I think it's a beautiful building, and we're going to take a quick sneak peek inside here because while the outside is a little crazy looking, the inside is stunning. Let's do it.
And one thing I want to note is that initially the ceiling was supposed to retract open, but it went so far over budget that to make a retractable ceiling will have costed another few $100 million that they decided to cancel that project. Ooh, here we are into the Oculus. Look at this. Gideon can't stop laughing. Wonderful. Wow, this is blowing my mind. Look how awesome this is. Wow.
This building is gorgeous, right? I mean, it's a place. It's unlike any place you've ever seen before. The ceilings are gorgeous. They have this window at the top that you can see straight through, and it's a gorgeous building that really brings a lot of life again back down here. This is a shopping center. It's a Westfield Mall, and straight ahead is a subway entrance for many different subway lines there. And you can see a lot of people shop here. They walk through here during their morning commutes or their evening commutes, and it connects to an amazing shopping center on the other side of the memorial called Brookfield Place, and there's something called Le District for my French friends. It's amazing French food. There's actually a cookie that I've only bought in Paris that I love, and they have the cookie shop here at Le District right by this the Oculus. So
that's awesome.
That's another pro tip.
Very cool. And there's always events going on here. They have always pop-ups in the center down there. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And it's a very good photo op. You bring your friends here.
There we go.
Do I look
Everyone,
amazing?
screenshot this right now. Boom.
The paparazzi.
And Lou says, wow, pretty place, wow that you're here. And Sadat, thank you so much for taking us inside. Yeah, you're so welcome. We're happy to show you New York City in its beauty. All right, wonderful. Lead the way.
Wow. We can make our way down.
Is there anything else you wanted to cover in the Lower Manhattan area?
I think this is really like the beautiful
So we're ending in about 10 minutes. Feel free to ask any last remaining questions. Again, I'm Ariel and Eric. This is New York Tour 1. NewYorkTour1.com. Like our page if you want to see more videos like this, and share this video with your friends, family, loved ones. If you want to show them the beauty of New York City and all its history, and also take our tours. We go all around New York City and we really get deep into history with amazing people like Eric, who is an awesome actor and awesome tour guide. So take his tour, NewYorkTour1.com. Ask any last remaining questions. All right, let's take a walk downstairs.
Let's do it.
Bill asks, is the 2nd Avenue subway running underneath? No, it's not.
Not underneath this spot. It's a great question though, because it was very recently completed. It took over 100 years to finish it, but the New York 2nd Avenue subway is a bit further away, but it's a beautiful subway.
And Anne says, oh my God, food in New York is from around the world. Oh yes. And Ellen asks, are you doing any more live tours on Facebook? Yes, we are. So stay tuned to see more about the Oculus, more about the 9/11 Memorial Center, and we'll be going to various other places. So stay tuned on New York Tour 1.
Yeah, like our Facebook page, y'all.
Yeah, like our Facebook page. And I also do tours of New York City on my page, facebook.com/urbanistlive. And you want to see more videos of all around New York City and cities eventually around the world. And Joe says, thank you so much for the tour. And guys, you're welcome. And what is this building predominantly used for? So 2 uses. It is a shopping center.
Exactly.
And a transportation hub down there.
And a lot of the shopping here is very high end. Really, there's Dior, there's Montblanc, there's the Apple Store, there's essentially amazing shopping, and yeah, that transit hub connects a lot of different subways here.
And Nancy, the New York City doesn't appear too handicap accessible for tourists. These newer buildings are definitely very handicap accessible, so it's changing quite a bit. Let's walk downstairs and we'll end downstairs. And Derek wants just the entire tour in the Scottish accent.
The entire tour in a Scottish accent. Totally. I'll do it for you.
There we go, perfect. And phase 2, 2nd Avenue will be underneath soon, yes indeed. And please, can you say hello to your son Matthew? Oh,
Matthew, what's up, man? Hello.
welcome to New York City. And Brenda, you're so welcome. And Sadaf, hello Matthew, yes indeed.
One World Trail looks beautiful from down here.
Ooh. So here we are.
So we're in the middle of it all.
Yeah.
If you follow me, we're actually walking in the middle of the Oculus. It's really bright, it's really open. And come over here. I want you to take a look up at the beautiful window because you can see a perfect view of One World Trade.
Oh my God.
Now take a look up there. That is part of the reason why this is such a beautiful building, is they built that window to give us a perfect vantage point of One World Trade, straight through that window there. This window is called the Wedge of Light. Another tour guide told me about this, and I really love to tell people that this building was built at such an angle that every single year on the day of September 11th, the sun will directly hit this window and illuminate the entire inside of this building. Talk about adding significance to this building and really connecting to the 9/11 memorial. It's a beautiful way of bringing light back to the area, and it shows you how much thought went into this structure, right? It's beautiful on the inside, on the outside, but the actual sort of functionality of the building connects to bringing light to the 9/11 memorial. So it's something that I really love to share with people, and it shows you how beautiful it is.
So Santiago Calatrava, the architect of this place, is probably now like, yeah, you guys now know the real value of this place.
He's like, $4 billion is worth it, right?
All right. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back showing a little bit more of the Oculus and 9/11 and other places offered on New York Tour 1. Again, I'm Ariel. I run my own page, facebook.com/urbanistlive, where I give more tours of New York City around different cool places. This is Eric, actor turned tour guide. Take his tour of downtown Manhattan at NewYorkTour1.com. Where can people find more stuff on NewYorkTour1.com?
NewYorkTour1.com is the best. We're also on Instagram. We have an amazing different pictures we post, and our Facebook page, of course. You guys like it, you'll see all different updates and pictures of all of our tours.
Amazing. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Keep being awesome. Have a great day, everyone.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Amazing. And I usually wave goodbye at the end of my videos. You want to join me? Bye, everyone.
Bye.